Rene Claudel Mugenzi was 18 years old when he fled the genocide in Rwanda. Educated in Britain, he's now a community and social innovation executive. He's also the founder of the Global Campaign for Rwandans' Human Rights. In 2011, British security forces warned him that the Rwandan government posed an imminent threat to his life. He spoke to us from Cambridge, England. Rene, I want to ask you about Judy Rever's book. Going back to the time of the genocide, there were reports of Kagame's army, the Rwandan Patriotic Front, attacking, targeting Hutus as well. She argues that this, in effect, amounts to a second genocide. What do you make of what's been uncovered in her work?
No, I think what she has uncovered is very important. And this have been, happening. These killings have been happening in 1990. And unfortunately, what she have done should have done by United Nations, the ICTR, International Criminal Court for Rwanda, but they didn't do it. She has done a very good job for Rwanda and for Rwandan for the record of the past.
From your point of view, why was this story not told before?
But the story has not been told before because I've been kind of protection of what RPF have done. There's only the narratives of the RPF have been promoted and I have been facilitated to go through the courts by the UN. So they're kind of international biased about what happened in Rwanda. And these things should not have been done like this. The United Nations should have been done so properly and investigated all the crime which have been committed in Rwanda, regardless who committed them.
At the same time, it's also been argued that in order to investigate the genocide against the Tutsis, they needed Kagame's support. They needed the support of the RPF as well.
I don't think so, because the international community have had the power and the means to be able to investigate the both sides. Of course, it was sometimes very difficult for them to investigate within Rwanda about what happened, why the Kagame regime was in power. But they had some important information and they had some important news about the genocide which was committed against the Tutsis. So they didn't really need much of the Rwandan government support in order to do that.
In your view, does this amount to a second genocide?
No, if we look at those evidence and the testimonies and the facts, so that's what we're looking for. We just noticed. In my view, I think it was a genocide, the second genocide. But what we've been campaigning for the past 24 years is independent investigation by the UN to trying to find out what really happened in Rwanda and give us some independent report. But otherwise, we are very grateful for Judy Rever to have done that, despite that it should have done by the United Nations.
Tell me a little bit about Rwanda today. Kagame is still seen as an African leader. He was elected chairman of the African Union. People speak about political stability, about economic stability, but how would you describe what's happening there now?
Rwanda is it has very oppressive regime. It is the only African country which sent assassins to go to kill opponents across the globe. There's no freedom of speech. There's no political freedom. All the politicians, they are either in prison or dead or in exile. So I'm talking about the opponent. So Rwandan, the real image of Rwanda is very different of the image which have been promoted outside of Rwanda.
What do you think? I mean, would Kagame be influenced by international pressure?
Yes, I believe the international community has not done enough to pressure Kagame to take the good path, which is the path of democracy and freedom. And so they have they just, he had like a freedom to do whatever he wants. It has not have enough pressure for him to be able to change a country which needs over 40% of its budget from the donors. So the international community has very important leverage to be able to pressure Kagame to be able to bring peace, justice, and democracy in Rwanda.
I know that your life has been threatened in the past by the Rwandan government. Are you safe now?
No, no one is safe if you're trying to raise awareness about what happened in Rwanda, what is currently happening in Rwanda, and also if you're trying to pressure the international community to investigate all the killings which have been done by which have been committed by the current regime. So the response of the Rwandan government has been trying to assassinate anyone who trying to expose it. Recently, the BBC as well have been another example. BBC have been banned in Rwanda just by trying to discuss about different narratives about the history of Rwanda, what happened in 1994.
Do you think this book will make a difference now that this story has been told in such detail by Judy Rever?
Yes, this story is going to really help the campaigning, the campaigning people like me and other human rights activists to use the book to be able to show the international community to do something about what happened in Rwanda, because there is not going to be ever any reconciliation without the truth of the history. There's millions of people who have got some grievances about the past, about the experience, which have not been addressed. So that's very dangerous for the country if those issues have not been addressed. So for the really reconciliation to happen, we need the truth of the past. So for the truth of the past, we need to find out. We need to have all those investigations about what happened in Rwanda, and we need that to be clear.
Thank you very much for your perspective on this.
Thank you for having me.